Welcome to Calming Harp, the sounds of David's Psalms. I'm glad you've joined us for this brief moment we share together. I will be playing some of the music that has been brought out of the Psalms. My name is Steve Rees. I play the harp, and over the last several years I've been bringing the sounds of David's Psalms into recordings. You can find a lot of my music on my website, www.calmingharp.com. I have CDs available and MP3s. And you can go to YouTube. If you go to YouTube and then type in Peregrinati, Peregrinnatti, you will find hours of beautiful harp music that you can just play in the background and be calmed with the music that David may have played for his sheep at one time or another. So as we share this half hour, join me and enjoy the sounds of David's harp. Well, thanks for joining again. Another, actually, where I'm at, beautiful day. Early morning. I'm actually back home in Mississippi. Flew in the evening to New Orleans on Thursday evening and spent a beautiful day finally reconnecting with my wife, and that kind of leads me into the subject of what I'd like to talk about today in this episode. The subject of Thanksgiving, being thankful. I have a lot of things to be thankful for. I spent a beautiful time with my family in California. It wasn't so good that I had to leave Shirley behind here in Mississippi, and we tried to bring her out, but Southwest was having issues with their flights, and we didn't want to get her canceled in the middle of the country, so we kept her here at home, and things were starting to slow down on the problems with the airline, so I was able to fly back, and so today I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be back home with my wife, but I'm also thankful that I got to spend time with my family in California, and I received so many wonderful comments from many of you about my mother's passing and your encouragement for my life and my work. And so here I am. I'm back with you again this week. And so the theme of thankfulness is what I'd like to go on today. I'd like to start out by reading out of Psalm 18. Psalm 18 verse 1 starts out, "To the chief musician, a psalm of David, the servant of Adonai, who spoke unto Adonai the words of this song in the day that Adonai delivered him from the hand of all his enemies and from the hand of Shaul. And he said, I will love you, O Adonai, my strength." Adonai is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. My God is my strength, in whom I trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation, and my high tower. I will call upon Adonai, who is worthy to be praised, and so shall I be saved from my enemies. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about, and the snares of death prevented me. In my distress, I called unto Adonai, and cried unto my Elohim, and he heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled, the foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken, because he was wroth, he was angry. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub, and did fly, yes, he flew upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place, his pavilion around about him, where dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. At the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed, hailstones and coals of fire. Adonai also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. Yes, he sent out his arrows and scattered them, and he shot out lightnings and discomfited them. Then the channels of waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at your rebuke, O Adonai, at the blast of the breath of your nostrils. He sent from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy, and from them which hated me, for they were too strong for me. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but Adonai was my stay. He brought me forth also in a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. Adonai rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands hath he recompensed me. For I have kept the ways of Adonai, and have not wickedly departed from my God. For all his judgments were before me, and I did not put away his statutes from me. I was also upright before him, and I kept myself from my iniquity. Therefore hath Adonai recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his eyesight. With the merciful you show yourself merciful. With an upright man you will show yourself upright. With the pure you will show yourself pure, and with the forward you will show yourself forward. For you will save the afflicted people, but will bound. For you will light my candle. Adonai my God will enlighten my darkness. For by you I have run through a troop, and by my God I will leap over a wall. That's quite a promise right there. As for God, his way is perfect. The word of Adonai is tried. He is a buckler to all those who trust in him. For who is God except our Lord Yeshua? I would add in there, except Adonai. For who is a rock except our Elohim? It is God that girds me with strength and makes my way perfect. He makes my feet like hinds' feet, the feet of a deer, and he sets me up upon the high places. I remember we were up in Glacier National Park, and we saw the mountain goats way up on the cliffs, running around as if it was a playground. He teaches my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by my arms. You have also given me the shield of your salvation, and your right hand holds me up, and your gentleness has made me great. And I think of the Ephesians 6, where we were told to put on the armor of God. You have enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. I have pursued my enemies and overtaken them, neither did I turn again till they were consumed. I have wounded them, and they are not able to rise. They have fallen under my feet. For you have girded me with strength unto battle. You have subdued under me those who rose up against me. You have also given me the necks of my enemies, that I may destroy them that hate me. They cried, but there was none to save them, even unto Adonai, but he did not answer them. Then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I did cast them out as dirt into the streets. You have delivered me from the striving of the people, and you have made me the head of the nations. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. As soon as they hear of me, they will obey me. The strangers shall submit themselves. The strangers shall fade away and be afraid out of their close places. The Lord lives, and blessed be my rock, and let the God of my salvation be exalted. It is God that avenges me and subdues the people under me. He has delivered me from my enemies. Yes, you lift me up above those that rise up against me, and you have delivered me from the violent man. Therefore, because of all of this, I will give thanks unto you, O Adonai, among the heathen, and sing. And when it says among the heathen, it's among the nations. And I will sing praise to his king, and shows mercy to his anointed, to David, and to his seed forevermore. The Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock, and let the God of my salvation be exalted. Remember that song. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So, that's the psalm for this morning. And I just am reminded with that psalm about this thanksgiving, this thankfulness that we have and that we all share. Dr. Jim Wilder, and he was going through what he calls the Emmanuel process. And he said the first thing we have to come to is that opens up the doors of communication, and he can begin to speak into our lives. I know Shirley, when we're down in Australia with our grandkids down there, little Jake, she goes through this exercise with him, and first of all, as he's going to bed, she says, "Okay, Jake, what are you thankful for today?" And Jake thinks about it for a little bit, and then he says, "Oh, okay." And he starts to list off the wonderful things that, he had a great ball game with his friends, and he liked his teacher, and he did good on his spelling test, and all these things that he's thankful for. And then, after recounting the things he's thankful for, Shirley then says, "Okay, now listen to what God has to say to you. You've told him what you're thankful for. Now let him speak to you." And so Jake, he closes his eyes, and actually on this day he had been kind of sassy to his mom and had kind of gotten by with it and hadn't really received any punishment or anything for it. He just had just been sassy, and so anyway, he was closing his eyes and deeply concentrating, and all of a sudden his eyes popped open, and he says, "Oh, God's got a lot to say to me today." And Shirley said, "Well, would you like to share?" And he said, Yeah, he told me I wasn't very nice to my mom today, and I need to go tell her I'm sorry." And that was such a beautiful little example. Nobody told him that God was angry with him or anything, and God wasn't angry. He just was reminding him that Shirley didn't tell him that. God told him that. And that's a very simple example of how God loves to speak to his kids. And if we'll just give him the opportunity, and one of the best opportunities is in that time when we're expressing our thankfulness to him. And as we express that thankfulness, speak to our minds to speak into us and let us know how he feels about us and how he wants to guide us in this life that we are living. So I just leave that with you. I would encourage you to engage in that process of expressing your thankfulness to God and then listening for his returning answer to you. You might be surprised what he has to say. Be letting this music behind me play out, and let you all know that I'm thankful that I'm able to share with you. After my mother's passing last week, I have realized that I'm thankful that Father has me still walking around on this planet. My mother has gone to her home. I'm still here to do some work that the Father still has set before me. Remember, who knows whether we are come to the kingdom for such a time as this. As difficult as these days may seem, even more important than how difficult it is how our Father is sustaining us in the middle of it. And for that, I am thankful. And I encourage you to be thankful as well. I think that's why David wrote that psalm, to remind us that even in the middle of all of our enemies and all of the stuff going on around us, he stays us, as he said in the psalm. He upholds us. He gives us the strength to walk through it. So I'm going to let the music play, and I look forward to next week when we get to spend some more time together. So be blessed in this day. So I hope you've enjoyed our time together. Stay tuned, as I say. Little pun. I have many more songs to share with you. I have more to share about how this all comes together. And I pray that you will share and help people, especially those you see stressed, especially in these times that we're going through. Bring people to this calming and this peace and this rest that this beautiful music of the Psalms of David brings to each of our lives. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you next week. Many, many blessings to you all today.